Bhairava Kalike Namostute. Om Namo Bhairavaya Namo Nama. Om Namo Bhairavaya Swaha. Good morning, and we're back on yet another video. I will try and make this as small as possible because this subject is specifically bringing people to the channel whom I do not want them on this channel. This is kind of beings that celebrate physicality to a very large extent, whose heights of imagination is restricted to jealousy, restricted to making YouTube money. It is restricted to jealousy on popularity, all this. I don't want such people on my channel. However, since some genuine questions have been raised on my last video about if Skanda, the Deva Senadipati, has marked somebody, are they done? Is there no escape from it? Which is also how I also had projected. However, I can talk for 2 to 3 hours. That is my actual capacity to talk, right? And this place is set in such a way that it is not a studio. There is no AC, there is no fan. It is just walls. There is nothing behind. The sun hits directly from behind. There is a forest behind. You cannot even purchase land there. So while I sit in such a place, she also ensures that I cannot really put 2 or 3 hour videos, and for me to upload a 3 hour video, it will take another 3 hours. So that is why I always cut short videos. But however, last video, yes, it needed a little more answering. This is probably the last video on this specific incident. Post that, we will go into our actual core, slow and organic growth and sadhana path. We'll go into that. So if the Deva Senadipati marks you, are you done for good? Let me go into a small scriptural reference for this. So once it is decided that Murugar, Skanda, is to take down the Sura Padman, and he has to get him destroyed, and that is the whole purpose through which the Devaloka invokes and approaches Mahadeva and calls him and tells him that please ensure that you save us. It is all the design of Shakti. She will always project and put the Devaloka into specific trouble so that they go and invoke, and so that there is a reason why all these specific forms come out. It is all design of Shakti. Mahadeva by himself is unattached and so detached from the happenings of the Devaloka, he doesn't bother to actively look around that. For that, there are different deities for that. So when the Devaloka approaches Mahadeva and begs him for his mercy, and he gives that 6 balls of fire, the first purpose for that is not just making sure that Dharma is kept intact during the switching of the yugas. It is beyond that, right? So the actual the first purpose is to take down an Asura. So when Murugar walks there with his Senadipatis, with generals and all, he goes and stands and looks at the bungalow, the palace of the Asura. There is this incident wherein he marks and tells his close associate, look at this Asura's palace that I'm going to destroy and give him Gana. It is so beautiful. It will not be right if I break it down. Do you think it is right? So his associate says, but Veerabahu, he says, but he is adharmi, and you have been ordered by the Divine Mother to take him down, so what can we do? No, he says, ensure, Veerabahu, you go there as my Duta and you give him the message that please correct yourself so that I don't have to destroy you. So the Deva Senadipati represented by Mars, Mars is also represented as extremely humanitarian. Those of you who are ruled by Mars, you will generally find that you have that extreme softness within you. That softness which will always continuously pull you and make you serve others selflessly. That's nature of service. That will always be there in Mars. At the heights you go to extreme rage, and at the lows you go to extreme compassion. This nature is very much there in Skanda. So when Ma created him in the specific 6 balls of fire with the water tattva, which is Kamakhya, and the fountain that is in the mountain, that's beautiful representation is of how Skanda is formed. Very clearly she makes sure that there is extreme compassion within this deity. So as he's about to destroy the Asura, have you ever heard that before destruction, deity is looking at the palace and thinking, Yare, wah, If he has built this palace to such an extent, he has definitely had the grace. He is definitely blessed. He is just looks like he's just gone a little wayward. Now I have to, why don't I warn him? Okay, Veerabahu, my commander, go and warn him. So Veerabahu goes there and warns him. The Asura, because Asura has to give a message. Asura is a realized being. Asuras are always realized beings, and they're very powerful, much more powerful than the average sadhaka, or even most of the realized sadhaka also. That is why they come to that state that the Deva now uses them to give a message. So Veerabahu walks in, says, hey, Skand is hiding outside. Probably you've not heard of him. He is formed very newly. He is formed very recently as the son of Mahadeva and Devi. So he is come to destroy you. Will you, as per his own request, why will you correct yourself so that he doesn't have to destroy you? Veerabahu wishes that he doesn't correct, because Veerabahu is a commander full of ugrata and rage, The Asura laughs at them and asks him to get out. He goes back to Skand and tells him, no, I tried to explain, but no, kuch nahi hua. Your compassion of giving warning even to the Asura is invalid. Now we'll have to go ahead and destroy him. Let's do it. Skand sighs and then goes ahead, completely decimates him and gives him the realization. So very beautifully, this small scriptural reference tells us that Skand doesn't, by the first act, doesn't destroy you. He is not so dangerous yet. He will only destroy, and then he is not that uncontrolled deity who's full of rage out to destroy everybody who does little wrong. No, he is so compassionate that he will give you multiple warnings, but it is the ego of the sadhaka, the ego of the asura, the ego of the average man that thinks that I'm the aham says that I'm still good. If the aham says I'm still good, then I must be good only. This is just pure delusion. And we tend to ignore the nimittas. Like for this studio, the nimitta was it getting hacked on Ashtami. Also, on Ashtamis, if you generally observe your daily routine, you will find that the Brahma's design that you believe is the highest stage of realization, maybe a job, a studio that you are running, or a business that you're running, will tend to take a few hits. You'll find glitches happening there. You will find that the regular progression, if Bhairava is calling you upon to take you to a slightly higher state, you will find that on Ashtami, most of the designs of your regular life will sort of have glitches. It will not work smoothly. It is like a computer software that is not properly installed, and that is on Ashtami. Bhairava will always the whole purpose of Ashtami is decapitation of the fifth head, and when you are so lost in Brahma's design, he will slightly cut it. So that realization was given to Ranveer also. And then when Ranveer, I have to say this, Ranveer, I believe, was never, though he himself believed that he was a Kala Bhairava sadhaka, he was never a Kala Bhairava sadhaka. He was completely blessed and had the grace of Shri Krishna. Absolutely. Because Kala Bhairava sadhaka, I know how they are. They do not like to engage in the society. They generally tend to search seclusion and sit down. They are stoic. They are unmoving. Right? Like Kala Bhairava, he has completed all his purpose and finally sits down as the giver of moksha. He sits down there. I now head Kashi. He doesn't move. Whereas Ranveer, who believed that he was Kala Bhairava sadhaka, he was meant to believe that so that he brings upon that explosion of revolution in the name of spirituality. He was definitely a messenger. And let me tell you, messengers will burn. Messengers have to burn. Whether you are writing a few books and giving messages to 100 souls, or you are on a podcast that has 1 crore followers, if you are saying that I am the messenger, be ready to burn, and higher states of realization is always open. So Skand marking you doesn't mean that you are already gone. If you repent and say that no, I realize what is happening, I will immediately correct myself. Skand he is Shiva Gurunathan. He gives realization to Mahadeva himself about the Pranava, right? So he is the Guru. But the only thing is that even if you are Mahadeva himself, if you have to attain Gana from Skand, you have to sit down and accept him as the Guru. Now, him being projected as a younger being, him projected as a small child, a young man, the perfection of a handsome young man, and not as an aghori or as somebody with a grey hair. old man, ऐसा projection नहीं होता है उनका. Why? Because he is that phat that says that age has nothing to do with Jnana. Grey hair has nothing to do with Jnana. Jnana is not a look. When the child, that is Skand, and he decapitates Skand, and Skand decapitates Brahma's fifth head and says that, wraps him and says that you know nothing about Pranava itself, who made you the creator God, from today I will create. And he puts Brahma in the jail, which is nothing but Skand Bhairav, right? The same esotericism is there. Many people, unless you are blessed for it, you will not be able to, Devi has to give you that progression to put this together. Otherwise, you will always keep saying, where is it written? Where is it written? Where is it written? I say, chalte rahoge, because you're still stuck in the Macaulay's law of education. You're still in the British India. You need to come out of it and sit for dhyana. Instead of wasting your time online, sit for dhyana. You will find that Skand will accept you and teach you. But Devi's grace is very important. So, as I was saying, Skand is that phat moment which says that the most realized being is supposed to look like this. A, B, C, D. ऐसे रखते हैं. Skanda says that he is projected in such a way that he is so full of jnana with the sixth head. Mahadeva himself sits at his feet and says that even you can even teach me. You have that much of jnana within you. However, the secret is that complete surrender. No matter who you are, how big you think you are, if you surrender to Skanda and accept him as the guru, your realization is that fast. This esotericism, people simply think that Mahadeva's greatness hai ki he even accepted Skanda as the guru. No, he is specifically given that tattva within him that he will be able to teach even Mahadeva. And anybody who doesn't understand this and says that I am the sadhaka of Mahadeva, I have done so much of, I have so much of dikshas, levels of diksha hai, I have attained all these states and so I am realized, he will never attain Skanda because you're still propagating that which stands for the four heads of Brahma. However, Skanda is somebody who has specifically wrapped Brahma. So he is part of the fifth head. His rise will now be unbelievably high. You will not be able to ignore Skanda anymore because he is now rising, because he has come out. That's his whole design, right? He comes out when the yugas change. Now he is here. And what is he going to do? He is going to establish what? Dharma. In what way? Everything non-traditional. You will find the most inauspicious becomes the most auspicious. In the dog, you will find bigger jnana than what you will find in the cow. Will you ever, in a traditional Vedic temple, will you be ever able to take a dog into the Garbhagriha? You will not. Skanda will say, if that animal is eligible to come into the Garbhagriha, I will make it the most powerful animal. So that level of vairagya is in him. So he has a challenging nature. Like anything you say, that is how Devi made him. So because that is his purpose. Anything you say, this is how you go, he will break it. Like this, why don't we go like this? Shiva Guru Nathan. So if you find a Skanda Bhakta who's really, realized Skanda Bhakta, you will have to accept that Bhakta itself as your Guru. Only then you will be able to find the flow of Skanda through his tongue. These are all secrets of how you go towards Skanda. You will have to break your aham, no matter how realized you are. To allow Skanda to talk to you, that aham has to break, and it broke in Mahadeva itself. Mahadeva himself, Maheshwara himself ensured that he sits under Skanda and says, okay, teach me. You know more than me. You are created as the greatest of the great, as Devi says. Okay, now I give you the position of Shiva Guru Nathan, and he sits down. So, if you want to attain any jnana from Skanda, surrender and breaking of the aham and lower yourself, and he will teach you. So, even the worst condition, even no matter how cursed you think you are or how bad your situation is, once Skanda marks you, you are in trouble, yes, but surrender, escape. Surrender karoge to escape hi hai, no matter what you are. And number one, and most importantly, I don't think Ranveer is in any way, see, he said he wants to be a messenger. Messenger banoge to you will burn. Whether you are, what path you follow. Even Jesus Christ, that nail piercing into his hand. What was it? Messenger had to, you have to burn. The answer is there across all paths. The message is the same, right? You will have to burn. And for whom? For others. Not even for himself. What did he gain out of that? Nothing. He was burning for others. That nail, imagine each fiber as the nail pokes and pokes and pokes and pokes through that pain, right? So, yes, so if Ranveer says that his studio is going to explode with the message, then yes, burning also will be extreme. Ranveer always said that his Ishta was Kal Bhairav, but I've always seen him, and in my own circles I would always say that this fellow has all the blessings of Shri Krishna. It is only Shri Krishna who will allow you to look lovable. See how he was the perfect package, right? He was like he is. He is the perfect package who then goes to the smashana phase. Now let us break this down a little bit more. You need to go a little deeper. So number one, will Skand protect somebody who then says that I want Sharanagati with you, give me the highest states of realization? Then he will. No, even after marking, if he says that burn me enough so that I can attain higher states of realization, then yes, absolutely you will attain higher states of realization. There is no sin that cannot be atoned for, and he will be fine, provided he's now accepting the straight path. So Devasenadipati have, so how do you, what is the path towards Devasenadipati? No shortcuts work. You have done something wrong. If there are, say, there are 10 FIRs in different locations, all of it accept as your own and go. Now, he has given somebody the opportunity, Bhairava itself, when he has given you the opportunity to burn for your sins, and A, B, C, D, 10 paths, all, it looks very difficult. Do the 10 paths. Karlo. Don't search for shortcuts. If you find that you are a Bhairava sadhaka or a Krishna sadhaka, and you find that a problem has come which makes you want to go through the long path, that entire long path, you take it. The only advantage of doing that is that you will cut off the future life, so that all the shortcuts that you take, okay, that you can exit. You will exit from the shortcuts. You don't have to come back to atone or burn that shortcut which allowed you maybe 90 days of relief. Why do you want to have a whole life to burn that off, right? So any shortcut, once tamas hits you, that is where higher spirituality lies. It is within tamas that all highest states of spirituality resides. So the moment something hits you, no shortcuts, go the long path. If 10 different places are pulling you, go to all the 10 places and tick mark kar do. You will find that you will absolutely fly from there. Okay, so Sharanagati to Skand is the fastest way to attain realization. It is the fastest way to get his protection also, no matter whether you are good, bad, evil, whatever it is, because his biggest messenger was so full of lust and so full of uncontrollable urge towards femininity. He did not understand femininity at all. He just saw women and he will be full of lust and he will jump on them. His name is Shri Arunagirinadhar. So when he got the realization, and finally his sister, who is none other than Ma Adhya, okay, her name is also Adi. So when he finally full of lust, he is not even able to recognize his own door. He bangs his own door, goes inside and places the hand on his own sister, who turns around and says, now you want me also? That pat moment, that is how Skand gives realization. Pat. And then he tries to commit suicide, tries to jump from from on top of the Gopuram, magically lands safely, and then the realized Siddha who saves him tells him that for 12 years sit in silence and meditate on Skanda. Finally, at the end of 12th year, he gets a vision of Skand who writes the pranama in his tongue, and he is given the highest states of realization. So Skand is also extremely forgiving. That is the nature of Mars. Mars is extremely compassionate. Mars is extremely forgiving. So will this boy not be able to attain and atone and exit from this karmic cycle that is presently stuck into? No, 100% he can escape. But he has to accept the longer path. Accept the longer path. Do not seek any shortcuts right now. That will again trigger one more life. And what is the point? So, answering that question that I had received in my comments, how do you please Skand once he is displeased? Take the longest path to atone for the sins, and you will be fine. Number one. Number two, was Ranveer a Kala Bhairava Sadhaka? No, he was not. He was made to believe that by Shri Krishna. And as Mathura fell and there was like close to 50,000 Narabalis, I would always tell my friends and my own family, whenever I would see this boy, I would say that this fellow has the grace of Shri Krishna to such an extent that he was probably one of the jivas that were killed in Mathura when Muhammad Ghazni invaded. Probably Ranveer is one of the last podcasts. Is also something to do with this only. Cut. Was it something to do with the invasion? Was he one of the jivas over there? He also speaks about a memory of Sri Krishna. What was it? One of the dying memories as he was slain there. In everything Shrestha, I reside. That is what Shri Krishna said. In everything Shrestha, the most exceptional doctor, the most exceptional architect, the most exceptional writer, the most exceptional student, the most exceptional cleaner, the most exceptional bus driver, the most exceptional anything, Shri Krishna resides. That is what he said. Divinity resides in anything most exceptional. By that logic, divinity also resided in the most exceptional podcast. Plain and simple. And that podcast was being used as a messenger to many of us who have got realization. People tend to just pull him. Okay, he fell down. Okay, he did this mistake. Pull him, break him to such an extent. Let us use his opportunity. No. Let us all understand, in everything Shrestha, Shri Krishna will reside. And what is Shri Krishna? It is also time after we have finished the 4 yugas. Now people say Kali Yuga is over. Kali Yuga is not over. The divine part of Kali Yuga is over. Now we head towards the final one, which is the 5th head of Brahma, and everything will now collapse, and then we begin to realize what is the triangle. I've spoken about this, though I specifically not given this form, this triangle. That is very important. Let us break down one more episode of Ranveer. Since I have said that this might be the last video I put on this subject, let me break it down fully. Ranveer sitting opposite to Mr. Ashi Nandi says, I am a Krishna Upasaka and I am drawn towards Shakti. Mr. Ashi Nandi says, I am a Shakti Upasaka drawn towards Shri Krishna. Right? And that studio is where the Bhairava Nama explodes from. So the Adhara, that is Bhairava, but Bhairava by himself is not saying that come to me. He is always the Adhara. He says, place me as the Adhara within you so that you can correctly place Devi and we will stand on it. Without placing Bhairava, the one who removes the fear within Brahma's design, one who breaks down Brahma's niyamas and says that there is a path that is so fast, Brahma, which you are not able to hold on to. That path is Bhairava. So the path itself is Bhairava. Okay? The studio where Bhairava is exploding, these two people who were chosen to explore that Nama from there, right? Very important this is. Let's stop this being so lost that we think that last Leela that happened is in the Kurukshetra war. No, it is still happening. The boy who's Krishna Bhakta, who says, I am drawn towards Shakti. And the man who says, who's giving him the Jnana, giving all of us the Jnana on that subject of Bhairava, he says, I am Shakti Upasaka drawn towards Krishna. That beautifully places Kali and Krishna. Right? And Adhara Bhairava. That triangle is very perfectly placed there. Now, Krishna is Kali, Kali is Krishna. This understanding, many of us merely imagine that as a cultural reference. Some parts of the country, they do it like that. हाँ वो वैसे believe करते हैं. There is one temple where they believe it is like that. Krishna is Kali, Kali is Krishna is an exceptionally important concept that not just that we need to understand, we need to embody it. Krishna is, Kali is not, on some days he is Kali. No, he is full-fleshed embodiment of Devi. Devi projective, she has a name, Puman, the one who project in the she has 1008 names. These 1008 names are 1008 proofs of who she is, what she is. Krishna Leela, Krishna Mother, Krishna's birth mother, Krishna's Devaki, name, it is a name of Kali. It's in the Sahasranamavali. Yashoda, the one who feeds and takes care of him, Kali, because it represents Ma Sati, whose womb is lying in Kamakhya, and Ma Parvati, who then cannot give birth because the womb she has placed there, ensures that she's taking care of that child as the adopted mother. So Devaki, Yashoda. Also, it is that Ma Parvati who couldn't give birth and take care of because the celestial beings, she also ensures that she has the entire enjoyment of taking care of this child as Ma Yashoda. Is it too wrong to believe that Shri Krishna represented Skanda at that moment, the perfect son? He wears a peacock. I would like you all to explore this theory so that because it's already 24 minutes and this being the last video on this subject, as many of the people did not want me to talk on this subject because it amounts to taking advantage of the situation of this poor fellow. So, as I said, the triangle that places the explosion of the fifth head of Brahma from the studio and how Shri Krishna is Kali and Kali is Krishna. We need to go deeper and deeper and deeper and understand that the entire Leela of Krishna is just Devi projecting herself as the ideal man and giving us a lot of insights on how femininity should be understood. How femininity should be understood, right? Panchali, I believe it is a 620th name of Ma Kali, and how Panchali's entire episode, disrobing of Panchali in the Bhari Sabha. And in that, when Panchali, after the entire episode, is sitting dejected in her chambers, having locked herself in the chambers, and Shri Krishna walks inside and she asks Shri Krishna, look at how I was treated. What is my karma? I'm born out of fire. Then why have I borne this pain? And Shri Krishna tells that the message of your entire disrobing is very simple. It is that you, who's the most, the most empress of the Arya Kula, and still you have been disrobed. Then imagine the state of the Dasis, the lowest of the lowest women in that kingdom, how badly they would be treated, how badly the authority or the people in power are treating the Dasis. So the whole episode of Panchali, which is also a name of Ma Kali, I saw very surprised people on Instagram in some of the accounts that were posted by our Kali Putras. One of them had remarked that how can you say Panchali, who married 5 men, how can you say that she is Ma Kali? Because you people are differentiating between the term Ma and the average women. Panchali's entire ordeal that she went through was very simply supposed to make us understand ki if the highest of the highest woman itself will be dragged to that level, what about the woman who's not at the highest of the highest? What about the woman who's the average life she has to go out of the... See, the breakdown of the adhara, that the femininity by itself is absolutely misunderstood. That is why the person from whose podcast all this exploded was also in the middle of a controversy where the disrespect to womanhood is projected to that level. So there is a Leela playing here, right? When the yoni of the mother can be pulled to such an extent, pulled down into a mere joke, she's giving a phat moment to all of us. I will try to sum up because I don't want to talk on this subject too long because of the kind of nastiness that is being spewed in the comment section using this name and all that. I don't like all that. So I will continue to teach on these subjects in my upcoming videos, but I will not use these names, right? Because jab tak aadesh hai, the tongue has to keep rolling, and once energies are off, then the tongue can stop. If you are bringing Ma Kali into your life, please understand that your tongue has to continuously roll for Dharma. It cannot stop. So that is why I am still talking. If I was not Ma Kali Sadhaka, I could have by now very happily stopped talking and pretended to not be bothered about it. But Ma Kali, the law of Jihva, cannot be stopped. If you stop, she'll go away. This is a simple tip I'm giving you about Ma Kali. So, Panchali representing the complete destruction of femininity, women being treated as a property, women being relegated to mere, what is Yudhishthira who places Panchali itself? Did he have the right for it? From that moment itself, she begins to give Phat. Panchali is the name of Ma Kali, right? So she says that femininity is being misunderstood. We are praying to a woman, form of a woman in the Garbhagriha. However, as soon as we come out of the Garbhagriha and we are driving the car to our house, if somebody puts a brake in front of your car, you immediately pull his mother and you give a Ma Ka Gali, right? Ma Ka Gali. Then with the same mouth you say Ma Kali. Your inability to worship the yoni itself as an absolute embodiment of divinity, whether it is you. See, if I say I'm Praveen Radhakrishnan, and I have a mother, a Devaki Tattva, that is my physical mother. And then I have a Yashoda Tattva, that is my divine mother. I will say, Ma Devaki, thank you so much. I'll keep you at my highest because you're given the body. Till I still am in the body, I will worship my Ma Devaki. But Ma Kali, I'm rising higher. Please understand that you cannot disrespect the womb of another woman. She will not allow you higher states of realization. You will have to worship every yoni as the most divine embodiment of Devi. This is a rule of Shaktipat. We tend to absolutely look at our own mother, we respect, and then the mother in the Garbhagriha. The neighbor's mother, not relevant. The neighbor's grandmother, not relevant. Nahi chalega. The highest states of realization is, for example, I will tell you things from my own life. I'm not standing for any election. The lower beings who tend to run around in the comment section trying to pull me down, they say that they talk like I'm standing for elections. When you're driving a car and a girl in front of you driving a scooty does a little bit of this one, and you also you get jarred a little, and if you even scolding the woman who is in no way related to you also can incur great debacles in your sadhana path. The moment somebody does that and I get a little angered, and while driving my car also I immediately say Jai Madhya. I surrender that woman's inability to drive also to you. You have to be that careful. In the woman's anger, in the woman's hatred, in the woman's distrust towards you, there is Davi. That level of understanding is the only way you can progress in Shakti path. So, how did you all dare to project the mother's yoni as a joke? Now, please forget the physical being. Forget it. Let us take the leela. Let us take the lesson out of it. How did this society that now wants to go higher into spirituality, but how can the mother's yoni be a joke? Are you all truly realized beings that we would pray to the mother in the Garbhagriha, but however in the streets, it becomes a gali, right? What is a gali? What are we trying to project in our mind? Dirt. You are of lower standing, so I now insult the yoni from which you were born, the physical being. That minute itself your sadhana is over. These are all rules, right? Whether some of you are meant to hear, you will come to the video and hear it. Some of you are not. You will never hear this. Plain and simple. बड़े stage में जाके ये बात नहीं करना. If you put me on a stage, I am very dangerous. Very dangerous. So that's why she has not put me on the stage in this life. Put me here, right? So whoever is meant to hear will hear. Disrespect to the yoni of women who are in no way related to you is also a disqualification in the path of Shakti. You will not be able to come. Ma Kali is not. Crores can call her, but only one or two will actually go near her. Disqualification is this. So as I grew in my life, I was surrounded by women, like my mom, mother, sister-in-law, mother-in-law, all sort of relatives. And I would always be like, I'll be like Parashurama on it, straight. If I had to fight, I will fight with women also, I'll fight with men also. However, I began to understand as I went deeper and deeper into the tattva that is Mahakali, I began to understand that women you cannot treat in the same way as men. There is that the rules of Dharma are different, because in the anger of women, in the hatred that women, distrust that they show towards you, there is Devi. You need to learn femininity. And what did Shri Krishna, who was Kali, what did she do? She chose one of the Pandavas to be the embodiment of the manhood. When in 12 years, one cycle of Brihaspati, all the Pandavas went to Vanavasa and they were practicing all their Shastra, Astra, everything for the war. And the last one was Agyata Vyasa, right? What did she do? She made her best student, Arjuna. Arjuna's wife, Subhadra. Arjuna's wife, Panchali. She loves Arjuna to that extent. Krishna also personally ensures that he does the sadhana of Mahadeva directly, the core form. And also ensures that in the last 1 year, he completely learns how to dress as a woman, dance as a woman, and everything that is a woman. Every time a woman is disrespected, either there is Ramayana or Mahabharata. So why this small podcast subject is being discussed in the parliament? There is a reason. It is the duty of the rulers of this country. The moment the woman is disrespected, immediately you have to pull it to the highest extent. Message and your country will be safe. Because when Dhritarashtra sat there as Ma Panchali, who is none other than Ma Kali, was being pulled apart, disrespected, Duryodhana says, hey Dasi, sit on my lap, because I own you now. As Shakti Sadhaka, let me give you a small tip. You have these housemaids, you have these office maid, working women, right, who clean the table and all. When they come, just stand up and walk back. Stand aside like this. Just stand. After they're done, say thank you. If you have a single woman helper in your office, a woman helper in your life itself, stand aside. Bahut dangerous hai bhai. They carry the womb, and that is Devi. She's so connected to them that you would be astonished. You will not even know why you are getting destroyed in life. It will be a simple thought that let that woman who's just a maid in your office ensure that she's among all the colleagues, all the people in this office, the way this man respects me. No, I will be like, every time they place, I will say thank you so much. Then I will take my water bottle in the morning and I will go and give it to them. I will not allow them to come to small things. No ordering. If there is a woman who is in any way karmically, her life is in such a way that she's learning womanhood, she's in that jiva is in the body of a woman, and she is roaming around you, be very careful. You will put absolute physical effort to ensure that she is kept like Devi. Be very careful. You will not be able to even come near Ma Kali. Near, I'm saying, like you can say, you can recite her Sahasranamavali by heart. Nahi aayegi. Unless and until you respect and pray to every yoni, every womb, you see her. Ma Kali is that state where people do not even understand how extreme she is. Right? She projected herself, and the greatest message is not just how to live life through Krishna. She also says that Krishna, that is Ma Kali. See, whenever I say Krishna in this Garbhagriha, immediately I'll follow it up with one line, because I'm just me trying to please her a little bit, right? I'll say Krishna, who's also Ma Kali. Krishna said, who's also Ma Kali. Krishna, she's a Devi. That much of understanding has to come to you. If you have to move from the triangle that is Bhairava as the Adhara, Krishna to Kali, you have to pray. Keep the divinity that is every womb of the mother. Every womb. On street, you see a laborer lady, she has a child. Let us break down, because what did Shri Krishna say? Hey Panchali, it is not just your suffering that we are talking about. You who was at the highest, the ruler never respected you. The ruler has abused you in the Bhari Sabha, where a blind king sat there and just enjoyed his son doing all this nonsense. We are talking about the Dasi. Panchali, Panchali who's Ma Kali, you're merely a message. Merely a message. Whereas deeper messages. Look at our society today. What is maternity leave? The corporate says, maternity leave, you have to, creation of the yoni, for the yoni to fulfill its purpose, you have to plan in the calendar, okay? We will give you 8 months of leave. Think, what are we doing? Do we have the rights to say that the yoni shall be restricted to the calendar, and that the woman who is now bearing, who becomes mother itself, the divine mother itself, the woman who's pregnant and carrying a child becomes a mother itself? How long are we going to pretend that it is just a stone in the Garbhagriha? How long will you pretend that Devi inside, outside, woman, just a woman? Arey, Bal Bhadao, do it. Become a woman and see the pains of it, the sheer pains of it. It's so painful. Debacle and destruction of Kali Yuga. Kali Purusha's games are in the womb now. This is the greatest message of that incident. Look at the womb. It is being abused. The womb is being abused. It is being sold left, right and center. Women are being dragged around. I'm talking about the heinous crimes in everyday life. Every time we say that, oh, you want to bear a child, you can't. You have to, our company's profits will go down, right? If you bear a child and take more than 8 months, we cannot give more than 8 months, do we? Is it? In India, you guys think that you guys are big corporate country. You don't, this is karma bhumi mein aa gaye ho. Why are you behaving like the corporates, Western corporates? If you have a company, you're trying to say that the profits of that company will go down if you give the woman 2 years to take care of the child. Kali Purusha is there, and he's clutching the mother's yoni now. That is why the yoni became so important. That is why the yoni became the point of explosion. Ma Kamakya, what is she saying? You are disrespectful to my yoni. In every woman, you are so disrespectful that you will force her to look at the calendar before she can bear a child. You will take the child away from the milk of the mother, because she has to come and sit in your company, because your company will, how many lakhs among that 1,000, 2,000 crores, Is the mother going to lose? I cannot even find words to describe how disgustingly lost we are, right? That before the last video, I put the last video, I lost my temper to such an extent that 2-3 hours I was in rage. I was in rage. I did not have that soft tongue with which I spoke. You people say that I'm harsh. I give weird vibes. Let me tell you, weird vibes I don't even show in front of this camera. I'm that extreme when it comes to rage. Yoni of the mother, before she has to bear a child, she's only given 9 months time. But we pray to Ma Kamakya, mujhe bachao, aap to andar. You are in that space only. However, the yoni of every girl, she is restricted to the dirty corporate politics. She has to go by what? You give her 9 months to bear and come out. Come. Profits are getting affected. How are we not seeing this? How are we not seeing this? Why did I explode Kali Nama and say that you Kali Putras, you explode the teachings of Ma Kali on Instagram? Because Instagram mein kya chal raha hai, bhai? You will only give accreditation to a woman if she is forced to go by that path. If she is forced to do that. Panchali is disrobing is happening on Instagram. Otherwise, if a woman does not do that, she becomes unpopular. She doesn't have that. My words are becoming extreme and I do not like to control that tongue, right? That is why I don't speak. You guys are not ready for it. Ma Kamakya ko pray karna hai. Ma Kamakya is in trouble in every street. Ma Kamakya is being disrespected in every street. And that is why she is exploding from there. Ye kya hai? Maternity leave. Maternity leave. Till the child has to drink from that mother, she should be allowed to be with that mother and you pay for it, man. What is there? You are 2,000 crore quarterly profit, 3,000 crore quarterly profit, 1,000 crores, 100 crores ka profit mein, you're paying that woman 25,000 per month. 6 lakhs per year you guys could not bear. 6 lakhs? Hey, parliamentary committee, can't you make a law which allows the mother and the child to... You are praying to Shri Krishna, hey Krishna, you are so special. However, you will not allow that mother to embody Ma Yashodha and take care of the child for 2 years. Pay or no? 6 lakhs. How many mothers are there in a company? How many mothers are there in a company? 10. Okay, 60 lakhs. Kar le bhai. I will take care of you. Ma Kamakya is not a temple on top of a mountain. She is there in every woman. Let us do the puja of Davi. I pray to a woman. However, it is not the ritual. You should embody that. You guys are becoming fake. Are you not becoming fake? Is that only during the rituals that you will see her? What about during the other times? If a woman is coming to you for Diksha, is everything being done right? Yes, Ma Kamakya is in trouble because she is not just a temple. Every street she is in trouble. If a house is being built, there is a woman laborer there, and she is working by tying the child's leg to a rope so that he doesn't walk into the street as she is lifting the. Arey bhai, everything there is mafi, but if the mother is not being respected, we are all a bunch of hypocrites. We have become corporates. We are Western world. You want to count the number of months that Ma Yashoda and Shri Krishna, you have restricted her to maternity calendars. Are we really taking care of women? And his mother just a garbhagriha. The pain that I have, and you went so many attempts to close my mouth. Praveen Radhakrishnan, what rights you have to preach? Who are you? Tell me how many dikshas you took. Tell me how many levels of dikshas have you taken to say this, Kali Purusha. That is why you are hiding behind a username. Anvir Allahabadia's studio became the greatest message. And the message is very simple. The mother's yoni is not about a temple. Women, that Panchali, when Duryodhana says, Dasi Panchali, yahan baitho, the royal, the most highest state of the empress can be pulled and called up like that by the king, it represents nothing but the mother being disrespected and disrobed in every street corner. That is why we explode on Instagram. Why the mother's name is exploding on Instagram. Popularity. He's speaking for popularity. Mother has given me so many zeros in my net worth. The entire proceeds of what YouTube can give me will not be enough in a month, will not even be like 6 hours ka income bhi nahi hoga wo. This house that is here, it is a 5,000 square feet house. It has kept me well so that I do not have to bow my head and control the tongue. You want to save the Divine Mother, we should start a full-fledged campaign that every mother who is bearing a child should never be disturbed. She should not look at a calendar. When she attends an interview, they should not see, okay, you are 27, you're married? Okay, probably then she will get married, and oh, you're recently married, okay, then probably she'll take maternity leave, we'll have to. Arey bhai, how many lakhs got affected from your quarterly profits? It is time to truly, Bharatvasi, to truly wake up and understand that you are pretending to be corporate America. You are not. They are a different, in a time zone, their karmic time zone is different. They will also come here and finally born. But why are you imitating? How long the Britishers have gone? You're still imitating. Mother's womb is insulted in every possible way. Every possible way. Panchali's disrobing is happening in every street today. You have brought it to such an extent that the yonis are being disrespected to such an extent. Ranveer, that podcast went to that extent so that it can give a putt to everybody. It is not about Ranveer Allahabadi at all. He will see, he has lost the identity that he thought that it is the highest. Okay, when Krishna sat under the tree and Jara, it's also a name of Kali. People think it means old age, rotting and all. One of the names on the Sahasranama, Jara. It is nothing but the Jara who sent the arrow flying into the lake of Shri Krishna, and he sat there under the tree in loneliness as Dwaraka is sinking. Dwarakavasi is saying, hey Krishna, you're born here. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? It is the podcast going off. For some of you, it is a career going off. Some of you, that is how realization comes. Sri Krishna will forcefully invoke the smashana within you, and that and all which you think is very important will burn off. So Ranveer Allahabadi, leave him. What was the message? Is the mother's yoni being taken care of? Mother's vagina is being taken care of. It is not just yours. Everybody, every one of us has Devaki. Every one of us has Yashoda. Right? Your neighbor's mother. What about that? Maternity leave you have restricted. It's one of the... How are we not seeing this? What is the true message of this whole episode? What is she trying to say? You guys have made a joke of the womb. You guys have become such hypocrites that you will say Ma. At the same time, the same tongue, the moment somebody puts a brake in front of your car, you will say Ma. Why? Because you are insulting his mother. You're insulting his mother. So if you can bring that mother, your Shakti sadhana is finished. The moment she's made me go through all this and she has given me pat. Did I just scold somebody? And did I just at that minute, the dirtiest word, so mother, the mother's yoni, his birth. I have questioned his birth. Who did that birth? Ma Kali. So Mahakali's realization is the khadga, and it hits so fast. Sri Krishna is none other than Davi, and he ensures that he gives the ideal man ka picture through Arjuna when she makes sure, Sri Krishna, let's call him she makes sure that Arjuna dresses as a woman, dances in this one, embrace femininity. And when the Uttar, the small prince who comes up to Arjuna and says that, what is this? Arjuna says that, try and defeat me as I dress up like this, speak like a woman. So the path to Mahakali is not 12 years, it is 13 years. And the last year will be Agyata Vyasa, where you embrace femininity to such an extent and see divinity in the hatred of a woman, in the anger of a woman, in the disgust of a woman. When a woman spits on you, you need to come to that state where there is something happening. physical beings and their interaction with women is different. Spiritual being and your interaction with women is a completely separate topic because there will be Devi in it. Are you learning? Are you learning? Have you understood? Do you understand me now? Do you understand that this is all me? Shri Krishna is also me. Do you understand? That sort of an interaction is there in as you progress in Shakti path. One of the earliest Sri Rama represented like this with the bow, right? Bow and arrow, right? Shri Krishna represented in the Tribhanga. Very sorry, apologies to all dancers who are watching this. I am not gifted to be a great dancer. However, I absolutely enjoy watching all the dances and the poses and the mudras. So Shri Krishna represented as a Tribhanga. While excavating Mohenjo-daro, they found a girl statue in Tribhanga and they said dancing girl. So why is Tribhanga represented as the posture of Krishna? Because Devi. Krishna was always Devi. Krishna is Kali. Kali is Krishna. Krishna is Kali. Kali is Krishna. Woman, she who presented herself as the male, Tribhanga mein khadi ho gayi. So that you get a little bit of idea. And then she ensured that the first artifact that India, this Bharat woke up was also Tribhanga. People are dancing girl. Dancing girl nahi, Shri Krishna hai. Who is Krishna? Kali. What does Krishna tell Arjuna? Arjuna, you put all your effort in 12 years, learn everything, however, to make you exceptional and the Nayaka. And the Nayaka of Kali Yuga, you have to embody femininity as yourself. So in this Bhumi, we tend to behave like Western part of the world. They are still in the learning phase. They will finally come here, but you cannot say that anymore. You cannot say that Mother's Yoni I'll pray to in Kamakhya. However, in my office itself, there is somebody who, I am the managing director, and there is a girl who's asking for maternity leave. I'm checking 8 months lelo, and she has to. The rage I feel when I say these words, I'm telling you, it's not a joke. In this Garbhagriha, the rage I feel. It's not about Kamakhya, that womb. For a second, you consider yourself as a bhakta. You will go back to your HR policies and you will say that if the Devi, the girl who's going to give birth, right? The Devi, embodiment of Devi, the creation, wants a leave, for 2 years let us suffer loss. And itna bada loss. You guys saw that. How much is her salary? How much is this one? 15-20 lakhs hua, 25,000 per month salary and all our productivity put together is 2 years will be 20-30 lakhs. Le bhai, loss le. बहुत बड़ा gain होगा. You are a managing director of a company. There is a girl. There are women there. Salute कर ले. I'm being very serious. Physical being हो कुछ नहीं, problem ही नहीं है. Treat women like you, say equality, feminism, meninism, fight कर लो, कोई problem नहीं होगा. Spiritual being हो, माँ का नाम लिया है. Women in your life, you need to be very careful. Very careful in their emotions, in their anger, in their hatred. Devi hi hai. Sometimes I have some women who are very close to me in the spiritual path itself. They'll get angry, they'll start scolding me. I will take it fully. Little bit of fight I'll do, but I'll take it fully. Later on they will calm down. I will say, in your age I saw Devi. In my real life, most of my learning was like how to understand women. I was surrounded by in-laws ho, family ho, sister ho, mother ho. I was not able to understand ye women kya hai, Parshuram ki tarah. Then Ma Sita comes and says, hey Rama, hey Parashurama, who's also Rama, learn me now. She gives a realization. So the highest state is that Vajra, both sides, femininity, understanding femininity without understanding femininity, mantra sadhana nahi hai. Ma Kali sadhana is beyond mantra sadhana. It is yantra sadhana again. Understanding women. Hey Arjuna, who knows everything, who is the greatest sadhaka of Mahadeva, you go dress up as Brihanala and enter the battlefield as Brihanala. You will win. You will be untouchable because you have celebrated and understood womanhood. You understood why the girl who fell in love with you, Panchali, is now, as per Dharma, forced to have 5 husbands. Correct your wordings if you want to grow. Ma Panchali, she's mother. Ma Panchali is the name of Kali. She's there. You are so unrealistic. You are so busy. You cannot even read that. Yet you say Ma Kali. Kare, Ma Kali ka naam lena hai. So please understand femininity. Otherwise, don't waste your time. Go. You're wasting time. Arjuna says, hey Panchali, Now, as per Dharma, you are forced to be a devoted wife. Even in the office, they are forcing you to be devoted. They are forcing you to restrict yourself to the norms of the maternity leave, the norms of the in-laws, the norms of... If a girl can she has to go for an income because the husband's income is categorically reduced by the corporates in such a way that he will only be able to make so much money. Otherwise, he also like Dharma के कारण बहुत कुछ reasons है. Why good men are not able to make sufficient money to run a family, forcing the woman, the Yudhishthira losing the tattva to fend for himself and saying that now I have no option. Panchali, you also have to jump into the fire. That is today's Kali Purusha and all the corporates, the way things are molded. Then Arjuna is the perfect husband who says that yes, corporates are saying, Kali Purusha is saying, Kali Yuga says that my wife has to put all the efforts equally and I cannot be the single most important thing in her life. I understand it. So Arjuna was always chosen for that. That is why Arjuna is exceptional. That is why he represents the Bhairava Tattva. Arjuna is, I would say, the perfect embodiment of how a Bhairava Tattva, a man embodying Bhairava Tattva should be. He understands that Panchali has no other go. She is forced to do it. And in the sacrifice of Devi Panchali, there is Ma Kali. So already I have the ability to talk for 5 hours, right? But all of you will not be able to handle it. My phone might burst because it will overheat. But these subjects are no longer a joke. We force ourselves to say that Shri Krishna is the male, he is like this. We refuse to learn that he is Devi. It is when you realize that Shri Krishna is Kali nahi hai. Shri Krishna is Devi herself. Ma Kali hi hai. Not a culture, not as per in this region alone. He is Kali. This understanding, the moment you touch upon, you are entering the fifth head only, and that Tattva, Bhairava Adhara, वो स्टूडियो में यही हुआ था. Krishna Bhakta, curious on Shakti, Shakti Upasaka, curiosity on Krishna. The Adhara was Bhairava. Remove the fear. If you say in front of everybody that I worship the yoni of the mother, I worship every girl, I worship every I see a girl, I will worship her. Hey Ma, Devi. And the society will laugh at you. ये तो क्या, ये मर्द ही नहीं है. मर्द क्यों, like, you have to be man, you are not a bigger man than Arjuna, who wore the sari and you entered the battlefield. Are you a bigger man than that? You want to worship Ma Kamakhya? There are bigger battles to fight. Femininity is being crushed. Still people are spitting on the name Panchali, which is the 620th, I believe, 620th name of, I don't know, I have to check. Tum jaake check kar lo. I've forgotten their names. So, to understand Devi, mantra sadhana, tantra sadhana, yantra sadhana, to attain things, but how about the women that you keep in your life? That she projects and she keeps in your life. How do you treat those yonis? Yahi pe hota hai sab kuch. The secret of the yoni, secret of the divine mother is there in the yoni that you disrespect. So change yourself. So it's bade episodes se ye aaya hai. So Ranveer never asked me for my opinion, but what would I give him as an opinion is to become the exceptional champion of women's rights. Not on studios or not on all that. Get down to the streets and become the champion of women's rights. Put money into bringing women, paying their school fees, paying, take women out of orphanages and pay their private school fees, and adopt 15 girl children and say that I will ensure that all of you are studying in UK, USA. Yes, pay their fees and see how Devi takes care of you. She has used you as a messenger. Embody it fully. When everybody spits on you and says that you are no longer that identity, you lost your identity, then say that, yes, Ma Kali as Jara has sent the arrow flying into my this one and I am no longer that identity. Now I am coming, I've lost your identity. Where do you lose your identity? You lose in the Smashana. So when Shri Krishna's leg is pierced by the arrow of truth from Jara, that is called karma, when the entire Dwaraka is saying that, hurry, we are sinking, throw it, it's okay, it is gone. She is calling you now, the Divine Mother. And what is the name? Smashana. Directly, so you thought you were Kala Bhairava Bhakta. No, you are the Krishna Bhakta who is now going to become the Kali Bhakta. And Ma Kali, the most understood form of Devi, everybody says Kali. No, the most misunderstood form of Devi is Kali. The most misunderstood. Nobody even begins to understand what it is. How deep she is that you cannot process it. Krishna is Kali talking. That is why she is dark. Shri Krishna is represented as dark. Keshava, the one with the long hair. Mukta Keshi, the one with the open hair. Keshava had a nice hair. Long hair tha Shri Krishna ka, but nice. Representing a handsome man. Post is like the feminine woman. Dancing girl, Mohan Mohanjadaro. First one, it's a dancing girl. It is Krishna. Dancing girl, marker. History ka first marker from here is dancing girl. Why is she dancing girl? Tribhanga. But Krishna in Tribhanga, we refuse to believe it is femininity. No, feminine. It is not feminine. Krishna is man. But Krishna's best student Arjuna, wear a sari and come into the battlefield. Then only you will become the greatest. Panchali was your wife, right? But she's forced to spend her breakdown fully as she has to bow in front of this terrible Kali Yuga, Panchali. So you will say, Panchali had 5. Even as a Hindu, so-called Hindu, you're saying that Panchali has 5 husbands, so she's bad. Then what did you understand? Has she not wasted? The divine mother who came as Ma Krishna. Krishna. The divine mother who came as Ma Krishna, kuch bhi pata hi nahi hai tujhe. If somebody is typing in the comments, a child is typing ki, how can you say Ma Panchali is Kali? She had 5 husbands. Sahasranam padle bhai. Panchali is the name of Ma Kali. So that sacrifice, in the sacrifice of the woman in your office, in the sacrifice of the woman in your neighborhood, that is Kali. Did you pray to that sacrifice? It is not just in the temples. The womb is being insulted and dragged and dragged and dragged, insulted in every possible way. But we say, Ma Kali, Hare Krishna is very kind. His sadhana is extremely difficult, but he was still very kind. She had, let's say he. Woman, the one who represents herself as a man. Everywhere the secret is there. Sahasranam Pado. Sab kuch hai usme. So this is probably the last episode on Shri Krishna. I am majorly done. I will continue to impart knowledge, but will not be taking names. The triangle that exploded from that studio. Krishna Sadhaka, curious on Shakti. Shakti Sadhaka, loving Krishna. Adhara, Bhairava. It was so beautiful. I was like laughing. What is happening here? This is the most beautiful Leela happening here right now. 200 years, we have to make sure that people are talking about this. How Bhairava Nama exploded from here. We have to ensure children, everybody is learning these storybooks. All of you have exceptional English skills, write it. Something like this happened. It came and then the studio got destroyed. From there, the names, the markers were Mas, Yoni. And then we spoke about the father, mother ka wo insult ka naam pe like explode hua tha. Usme kya answer tha? Arjuna entered the battlefield as womanhood. Shri Krishna, who was Kali, gave the lesson that men have to accept womanhood. And the greatest warrior also has to understand femininity, not in the Garbhagriha. He was still the Bhakta of Mahadeva. He did the sadhana of Mahadeva. Arjuna did the sadhana of Mahadeva. But who was his guru? Devi, Kali. What Kali told Arjuna? Hey Arjuna, you think you're a great warrior? Agyata Vyasa, 1 year, dance. Tribhanga. Understand why I always stand in the Tribhanga. When Tulasidas ji, in his meditation, he sees Vasudeva without bow and arrow and standing like this. Hey Vasudeva, what is this? Where is your bow and arrow? Why are you standing in Tribhanga with a flute? That minute, Devi was telling Tulasidas ji ki Sri Ram, you are a big bhakta, please understand. Main hi hu. I come as Shri Krishna. Now the further message comes that Shri Krishna itself is Kali only. Right? So yes, congratulations to everybody for praying to the Divine Mother. However, look into your office. You see a woman in distress, pains. Now recently, I don't think I have a lot of time. It's a short story, very fast. A girl is just getting married in my office, and mother has created her in highest standards of beauty, exceptional beauty. Okay, this girl is born in a very simple family with no properties, no kind of material wealth, zero. She fell in love with a boy, took care of that boy, paid his. She was telling me these stories, right? I'm almost crying. I'm keeping myself straight, but I'm crying inside listening to her. When women start talking, I will listen to her. She's a dancer, so her actions will be like this. When she talks also, no, and she'll be like this. I'm just Devi is talking. She's not a very senior than all. She's a very young girl with small salary only. She has saved some salary and she paid her boyfriend's fees because her boyfriend is also coming from a very average background. She paid the fees. She herself has done the savings and saved for her gold for the marriage. And I am just crying like, Devi, what message are you giving me through this girl who's an embodiment of beauty, who's an embodiment of motherhood? She's standing in front of me. I'm just listening to this girl. Goosebumps. How the mother talks. You have to go to the Garbhagriha to hear. No. For the Kali Sadhaka, the Devi Sadhaka, every girl on the street is speaking her language. But for the physical being, she's just a girl. She's just a girl standing there. So I'm not talking here as a feminist. I am a divine feminist. Okay? Every girl on the street, you are just a physical person. जाते हो मंदिर वंदिर जाते हो कुछ मंत्र वंत्र करते हो, you will see the girl as a girl. But sadhaka and Devi sadhaka, every girl you meet, no, has to be Devi. Talk to me through her. She will speak. She will speak, and how she will speak. That will be beautiful. When this girl was talking, I'm practically dying inside. Like, my God, look at this beauty of this girl. No property, nothing, saving money and taking care of the boy. Ye kya sacrifice hai? Was she struggling to get leaves for a marriage and all? I'm just listening. Beautiful. The way Devi talks, my dears, it is not in the books. Shri Krishna was never embodiment of the male. It was always Devi. Always Devi. Womb has to be respected on every street corner. The Divine Mother has to be respected in every form she has taken. Otherwise, you will go nowhere. Giving Ma Kali you want, but Ma Ka Gali will not work. She will never come even near you. The womb becomes precious at the Garbhagriha. To become Arjuna, you should not see shame in embodying femininity. You should not see shame, because I did not get this realization by birth itself. It happened very recently. I was like a boxer, walking around, and I would see these men who are dancing. How is a man able to dance? And she slapped me. She slapped me nicely. And then I was like, then I started researching on Tribhanga. I started watching dances. I would just sit and watch. Wow, look at that. Look at the dance. Look at the way the body curve. How? Devi is not just mantras, blatant mantras. No. To understand Devi, you have to embrace femininity. I'm not saying feminism, femininity. I'm not saying place the woman on your head and walk around. Be the most gifted witness and say, Devi, teach me through all the women around me, and she will activate that. So in your office, right from the maid at the lowest of the low level, so-called society में देवी देखो, बड़े सूट बूट पहन के चल रहे हो. You are entering into office, you see two maids coming, immediately stand aside and say, please go before me. Not because somebody else is looking at you, not because it is chivalry, because it is Devi. She enjoys it. Now you understood that femininity, उसमें ही मैं हूँ. It is not just in the mantras. Then she will start opening a Gana to such an extent that you will start breaking down. This Nimitta Shastra, people keep texting me, teach me Nimitta Shastra. Nimitta Shastra is Devi. Devi decides you will simply be able to break down things. For example, this video has become abnormally long. Very sorry about that. However, for example, recently some people made a fake post about me on a very useless mode of communication, full fake. I got the nimitta of that very beautifully. I was sitting in a conference room. Out of nowhere, one of my seniors, out of nowhere, he's talking to my own subordinates, who report to me. The senior is talking to subordinates saying, that day Praveen was saying that you do nothing in the office, you are an absolutely useless person, you don't even touch your system. He is laughing. I am shocked. I never said anything of this sort. Why is this blatant wrong information being spewed about me? And I tried to correct it, but I could not. Then I was coming out very sadly from the conference room. Yeah, aisa kaisa? Itna dharma kaisa hua? What is the nimitta in this? I was thinking. And then I see one of the girls is talking to that boy
who got wrongly accused, and I have also been wrongly accused, she was telling him and defending that aisa kuch bhi nahi hua tha. I don't know why that happened. So the nimitta is very clear. Somebody will accuse you wrongly, others will come and defend you. You be bindas, I'll take care of it. And this happened. Within the same day it happened. How beautiful do nimittas work? Nimittas is a Devi's anugraha. Kuch bura hone wala hai, tu bindas reh. People will defend you. You don't have to defend against lies. And those who do that, hidden behind fake names, aa jayenge. Kahan bhagenge? You be bindas. So, Nimitta Shastra, people who ask me to teach Nimitta Shastra, number one, it can never be sold. Nimitta Shastra cannot be sold. It is not the birth design, it is divine design. Nimitta Shastra is breaking down of the threads of your reality. So, what is going to happen to you next 2 days? If I break it down for you because you told me some things, I'll be in trouble, right? It is against the niyamas of Prakriti to predict Nimittas and tell somebody else. It is against it. So, you cannot sell it. Very careful. Nimitta Shastra cannot be sold. Number 2, Devi Sadhaka ho, you want to attain the Annas with Ma Kali, celebrate womanhood. Don't think mard ko dard nahi hota to bahut dard kar degi. She'll destroy you and teach you. Arjuna, wear sari. You also have to wear sari. Have no shame in it. It is not shame. It is not just in Garbhagriha you will see. Your own mother is special. Ma is also special. Neighbor's mother you will insult. Nahi hoga bhai. Few things I wanted to put across. This is my last video on this subject. Yes, Ranveer, uska wo spirituality ka higher ho raha hai. Ab the arrow has pierced into his leg, and he being a Krishna upasaka, uska wo identity, Dwaraka is where Krishna got the identity, right? Not Mathura. Mathura is separate. Dwaraka is only the one that sank. Now Dwaraka is sinking. I hope that he, personally for him, he goes to higher states of realization, because after Krishna is shot and he is physically no longer there, the first name starts Smashana Kali. You have been given entry into that. Celebrate womanhood, become the greatest name in the society for the rights of women. Karo, physically karo. It's not about mantra, it's not ritualistic now. Go, get down the streets and ensure that you project and take care of women. Take care of them. Anywhere you see women in the state of the Panchali, being disrobed. Disrobed by what? Like if you don't have money to pay for the fees, you are not allowed to pay for the fees, you are not allowed education. Aise women ko identify karo and ensure that you are taking them to the heights. Become the champion of women's rights. That is the only parihara for this. Nothing else is required. Skand is ever forgiving. Skand wants you, but if you go to him and say, hey Gurunada, help me, he will take care of you. So this is done. Views. In terms of views, practically nothing. Come out of that shadow that thinks that I put these videos for a little bit of views. Kuch bhi nahi hai ye sab. The net worth that she has given me, I cannot even tell you openly. It is too big. Too big. Don't project your money. He wants money. Kuch bhi nahi hai bhai. She has already put me on the golden throne and only made me sit here. Come out of the shadow. It is speaking out in the comment section. So I hope everybody attains highest stage of realization. If a woman in your organization under your this one and you are the MD, board of director, do not equate her motherhood with your balance sheet. Problem hai. Wherever you go, whichever temple you go, if one of the women in your corporate is going through this, where she has to plan her this one, or she's getting separated from a mother, because Ma Yashoda to Ma Krishna, she loves to take care. Every time a woman is feeding her newborn baby, there it is Ma Yashoda. Be careful. Don't mess around with this. 2 साल के लिए ले यार लॉस. कितने women हैं आपके corporate में who are going through this? Let Devi enjoy that. No, you are taking her away all the time. Devi wants to feed her child. You take her away. Why? कहाँ पे जाओगे? तिरुपति जाओगे 1000 बार? क्या करोगे भाई? Devi, Kali has decided that you have not embraced womanhood. You are not allowed them to feed the child. She will just nothingness bhai. Nobody can save you after that. If there is women working in your office, just careful. If she is specifically placed karmically at a position where she is being made to serve maid or sanitary workers, women, be very careful. Bow and move back. Be very careful. Don't sit like Rajgati. In a second she will. In same life you're lucky. In the same life, if you're getting pelted for being nasty to women, you're lucky. Next life mein to like Khamakya mein bali hoga. You'll come back as goat only. Be careful. Be very careful. So I'm being a little rushed up because I can talk for 2 more hours. I have the ability. You guys don't. Respecting that mother for giving me this tongue and the eligibility to talk here. Right? So I think I'm done for today. Tribhanga. Learn about the Tribhanga. Why Shri Krishna was like that. Why the first artifact that was recovered from Mohenjo-daro was in Tribhanga. Why Krishna embraced femininity and why Krishna ensured Davi. Ma Kali ensured that her best student Arjuna goes through Brihanala. All these are answers. Ma Panchali, the royal empress was never meant, her suffering was not the reason there. It was merely this one that the royal princess could, empress could be put through this. What about the Dasi? What about the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of the lowest social cadre mein jo hai, that woman, it's her womb being taken care of. Protect the womb. Yes, the womb is in trouble, but the womb is not in trouble in the Garbhagriha. The womb is in trouble in the streets. Take care of her. Bhairava Kalike, most today. Om Namo Bhairavaya, Namo Namo Bhairavaya. Jai Ma Kali. Jai Ma Kali. Om Namah.